Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm Cisco from ZK Research, and I'm here inside the Expo Hall at Nvidia's GTC 2025 event. I'm here with Kevin Wollenweber from Cisco and Jeremy Foster as well. So, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, and Jeremy, just quickly, what's your role at Cisco?
I'm the general manager for Cisco Computing.
And Kevin?
I'm the GM for all of our data center networking, compute, hyperscale, and SP businesses.
Okay, and this is quite a show. I think I had you guys on last year at this time, and that, honestly, in AI years, it seems like it was a lifetime ago. Yeah, and so a lot's changed since then. And so, curious, before we get into some of the Cisco Nvidia news, obviously the keynote was yesterday. I thought it was a really interesting keynote because Jensen talked a lot about the next phase of AI being physical AI, and obviously we've talked a lot about data center. But I'm curious, Kevin, what were your thoughts on the keynote?
It's really interesting because we'll talk about what we announced this week, but one of the reasons why this partnership means so much to us is not just what we're doing today, but when you kind of look at what happens moving from Gen AI to agentic AI and then to physical AI, when AI moves outside of the data center, things like networking and security are going to become even more critical. So it lines up perfectly with what we're trying to do in the industry.
Yeah, even within the data center, though, networking is important too. And any thoughts from you?
Yeah, actually, I think it's really interesting that the keynote, yes, we always talk about servers and the hardware and all those pieces, but there's a lot of innovation in the software, around the storage, all the other things that are happening inside the data center. I think that adds a whole nother level of dimension to what we're doing here inside the data center to help enterprises innovate with AI.
Yeah, now, this partnership, in fact, Jensen talked about Cisco, Chuck Robbins, your CEO, always talks about Nvidia, has been really flourishing the last year, but in actuality, it's a relationship that's been going on the better part of a decade, right? So maybe a little bit of history of the Nvidia-Cisco partnership.
Yeah, I mean, we've been building off of Nvidia technology forever. We have Nvidia technology embedded into all of our WebEx hardware that runs in rooms. But what really's changed is the view that AI is going to move outside of LLMs and the large hyperscalers. And as we move AI into the enterprise, the need to have somebody like Cisco to help bring not only the technologies themselves, but bring our channel, our partner ecosystem, and just everything Cisco does for enterprise customers, take the technologies and bring them as solutions that customers can very easily consume.
Yeah, now on the compute side, we met last year to talk about some of the innovation, but that also predates, it goes back years as well. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working with NVIDIA since the VDI days, obviously delivering.
VDI days.
That's been one of our top solutions, it still is, right? We have a ton of work in healthcare that we do, and virtual desktops are important, and we've been delivering that on NVIDIA, like you said, for 15 years.
Yeah, now, this week's announcement was something called Securing the AI Factories, right? And so for those maybe who aren't familiar with what an AI factory is, can you talk a little bit about what is an AI factory, and then what are some of the security risks?
Yeah, perfect. So Jensen actually talked about it a lot in the keynote. So an AI factory is really that next generation data center that's going to enable AI workloads to run. And so when you start to think about bringing more AI technologies into your ecosystem, you need to build out this AI factory just like you would a regular factory to deliver a piece of technology. You build an AI factory to deliver AI technology. When you start to think about AI, though, moving into enterprise, a lot of our enterprise customers are looking at simplification of how they deploy, ease of use, and also how they secure these technologies. And so we can bring NVIDIA's blueprints for the AI factories that they call their enterprise reference architecture or their NCP architecture, and then align those around some of the Cisco security technologies, and that's exactly what we want our customers to consume.
Okay, and one of the things, in fact, I saw the report that Cisco issued around DeepSea, and I thought the real takeaway from that wasn't that you managed to breach DeepSea 100% of the time, it was that the best model was only 26%. And actually at Cisco Live EMEA, G2 Patel, your chief product officer, said, it's not up to the model providers to provide the security. And I started thinking about that, and it's just like, it's not up to the telcos to secure transport, it's not really up to the model providers to secure AI, that's really up to companies like yourself, right? And so what are some of those security risks?
Well, it's like, the fox guard in the hen house, right? You want an unaudited third party to be able to look at what's happening and give our customers trust that when they deploy an AI model, they're actually, the AI model itself is secure and that their customers or their users are secure from what that AI model can do. And so some of the things that we're bringing into this secure AI factory, and one of the technologies is called AI defense. We launched it back in January, and AI Defense is about two things. One is just giving visibility to the IT administrators of what AI workloads are being run. Because some will be run by the IT teams. Some of this rogue AI is just people that are using ChatGPT and other technologies. And so we can identify where AI applications are being used and give you a visualization of whether they're safe, secure, are they using APIs and potentially uploading your data to the larger model providers to train. And then the second part is making sure the LLMs themselves are secure. So the models have guardrails, things that are designed to secure the LLM from misuse, but those guardrails can be gotten around. And so we see things like prompt injection. You basically ask the thing the question a million different ways until you crack it. And once you've jailbroken an LLM, it's like the smartest 10-year-old you've ever met that has access to every single piece of data in the universe. You can get it to do things that it's not designed to do. And so we're really focused around identifying security holes and then helping patch and secure those.
Yeah. Now, to me, what's fascinating about that is when you think of security historically, why do business leaders hate security? Because it gets in the way, slows things down. You're ready to roll out an application, but if you actually can secure things the way you're talking about, now, in a way, security becomes a business enabler because now, to be clear, I think companies are going to mix and match models all the time. Some are better at things today and others. So if I've got that security foundation in place, now as a business, I'm free to bring in whatever model I want and then feel free to use it without worrying about securing that specific model. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a lot of the value of AI defense is just like the cloud. It's not a multi-cloud kind of world, right? It's going to be a multi-model type world, and you're going to have a lot of different models deployed across your enterprise, some from the cloud, some on-premise, et cetera. So you're going to have that third-party tool that you can rely on to secure the whole estate.
I'm just think about how things have evolved even since we talked last year. Last year we thought maybe you would leverage a model, maybe you'd build your own model. Now there's going to be a small number of companies that are building the foundational models. Most people are going to be leveraging those technologies. They're going to bring their own data and fine-tune them. We've seen that evolve over the last few months. But with DeepSea and with some of these new technologies around chain of thought and reasoning models, now you might actually have mixtures of agents and expert agents that are working together to solve problems. So now we have to even start thinking about security in different ways. We might have to secure the infrastructure itself from multiple agents talking to multiple resources and multiple data sets across the network. We have information that's public. We also may have private information we don't want to share with some of the agents. And so what we've really started to think about is how do we rethink security and networking coming together to be the fabric that enables these applications to get built out.
Yeah, and Jeremy, from your perspective on the compute side, compute and networking are coming together, right? I think historically, in fact, I think that's why Cisco got into it years ago. Yeah. But it seemed like that almost became a solution looking for a problem for a little while.
But from a compute integration with the network perspective, that's what Cisco UCS has done. It's really how do we take a unique approach to taking networking and compute, putting them together so that we can make it super easy for the enterprise not only to deploy these types of equipment, but to also operate them, because obviously there's a lot of different teams that work together to be able to deploy a server or a workload. And the same thing translates to AI. It's just a matter of now everything's bigger, faster, stronger, and you're starting to also bring in a lot of other things from a perspective of new types of storage, new types of hardware and technology that people haven't had to deploy for traditional enterprise workloads. But absolutely bringing those two things together adds value.
Well, that's what where I was going with that is that historically we've treated compute, security, and networking separately, but really in storage. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this a couple of months ago, where if AI is really going to work, you need fast compute, fast storage, fast networking, and it's all going to be secure. And if one of those components isn't where the other two are, that's going to be the thing that really kills your investment.
But it's even more than that. I think the interesting thing is when we look at a back-end AI network and the network that actually, or the fabric that enables AI, it's all the same components that we've been building forever. You have networking, you have storage, you have security, you have compute, but they all have to operate together in a single environment as a single system. And so if you look at what we launched with the Secure AI Factory, we have technologies like Hyperfabric or like our existing Nexus dashboard. And what we're really trying to do is take those tools, but bring them together so that the entire system works, from the GPU to the NIC, to the network, to storage, and operates as a single system.
All right, Kevin, well, just one more question on the partnership. I know NVIDIA's got lots of partners, right? Obviously on the compute and networking side, but this one seems a little different with Cisco because you're actually doing a lot of co-development together, right? And a few weeks ago, you had an announcement of Silicon One running in, in Spectrum and vice versa. So talk about that and the uniqueness of that partnership.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, a year ago when we talked, we were talking about the engineering engagement that we had created, but we weren't really launching any products.
It just started though, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had just started and we weren't really launching products. What we're launching this year is actually the evolution of those products and the delivery of some of those technologies. So we can take our Silicon One, our ASICs, our Nexus switching platform, and we've embedded that into the Spectrum X portfolio, which means you can deploy the NVIDIA reference architectures, but use Cisco switching silicon and Cisco operations and management to run that network, to grab telemetry, to do all your day two operations. We're also going to be taking the Spectrum silicon and building a switch out of it. So if you want to build a back-end network and you want to use the NVIDIA technologies end-to-end, you can do that, but leveraging Cisco Nexus, our Hyperfabric management solution, or our Nexus dashboard management solution to operate the front end and the back end with the same sets of tools. And on one hand, we can deliver the enterprise reference architectures just like all the other OEMs, but on the other hand, we're bringing technologies to market, and this is a 5-year technology partnership that we created. Obviously, we'll extend it beyond that as we see value, but you'll see years of integration and innovation.
Yeah, and here is really, once it goes enterprise, where I really see this partnership flourishing, because while NVIDIA's got a big brand, it isn't the most mainstream technology found in enterprises. Where Cisco's got the channel, they got the whole go-to-market, they understand the services aspect of it, all the pro services that get attached to it that make these projects work. And so there's the technology side, but then there's also how these go to market. And from a customer perspective, they're really the winners, because now if they really want to use NVIDIA technology, they can run it the way they've gotten used to with Cisco, or they can use Cisco, but making sure they leverage the power of NVIDIA as well.
But you're right, they can take the secure AI factory, they can go and deploy that, and they can call Cisco to get help, to get support, and that's everything from the components that we deliver, like the compute and the networking, to the security technologies, to the NVIDIA AI enterprise software that runs on top of it. And so all that gets packaged together, simple, easy to use, and one line to call for support through Cisco.
All right, so just one final question. So as we look ahead to the year, this upcoming year, and maybe going to next year, predictions, is this the year of AI, or is this the year of AI kicking the AI tires, or where do we end up here? I'll start with you.
I think this is the year of AI, and that we're going to see a lot of enterprises starting to adopt, to take those use cases they've been working on, maybe in the cloud, and deploying them now at scale, and starting to, towards the end of the year, actually changing some of the ways that we do business with each other.
Yeah, I love it. You look at what the DeepSea phenomenon, the fact that we can deliver things at lower cost, I think that's actually going to accelerate customers' ability to show ROI and drive more adoption of AI. So I'm excited not only that I'm seeing, you walk around the floor, you're seeing a lot more real use cases and real applications, but the cost of delivering AI is coming down every day, and I think that's just going to enable more people to drive it.
Yeah, well, the size of this expo hall is an indicator that's going mainstream, so. Yeah. All right, guys, anything else you want to add?
Nothing, that's great.
All right, well, thanks for your time. So on behalf of Jeremy Foster, Kevin Wollenweber, I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Research, and thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and give us a like, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of ZKast.